Assalamu alaikum students, hope you all are fine. Today I've got a chance to have another class. Students, today we shall discuss chapter number 8, adaptation. Adaptations are structural or functional behaviors that helps an organism survive in its habitat. It helps the organism to live its life to its best suited. For example, you can say a fish is adapted to live in water. It cannot live in any other habitats. It can live in water only. That means a fish is adapted to live under water and is able to live its life with its best suited conditions that it gets by under the water. Likewise, we can talk about a camel. A camel, we know, is a animal which is called the sheep of the desert. It is found in desert regions. It has got some special adaptations which we shall learn and is able to live in desert regions. Likewise, the cactus plant is best suited to grow in desert regions. My dear students, in this class you will learn all the adaptations related to the place where an organism lives, the way it gathers its food or the food it eats, and the way in which it protects itself. So let us begin with aquatic plants. What are aquatic plants? Aquatic plants are those plants that live in water. That means plants that live in water, in short, we can call as aquatic plants. There are many plants, like if I say hydrilla, lotus, water lily, or you can also say water hyacinth, which is very common to us. You might have seen in the ponds and all. So such plants are called aquatic plants. What special adaptations these aquatic plants have is that these plants, they are able to survive in water only because they have got lots of air spaces in their leaves and stems. Because of the presence of air spaces in the leaves and stems of aquatic plants, the plant becomes very light in weight and it helps the plant to float in water. These plants, they also have a waxy coating on the leaves which prevents the leaves of the plant from getting decaying or from getting spoiled. Lastly, if you talk about the special adaptation of the aquatic plants, is they have got very short roots, as they don't have to go in search for water. As they are growing in water, they have very short roots. So likewise, we find many special adaptations in case of the aquatic plants. Secondly, if we discuss about the fishes, as you all know, are always found in water. These fishes, what special adaptations they have is that they are able to breathe underwater. How they are able to breathe underwater? They are able to breathe only with the help of the gills that they have in their body. Other animals that are considered as terrestrial, which lives on land, they are not able to go underwater and breathe because they don't have gills like the fishes. But the fishes, they have gills with the help of which they are able to breathe underwater. These fishes, using their gills, what happens is that they are able to absorb or they are able to use up the oxygen which is dissolved in water. Firstly, the water flows through the mouth and passes through the gills. At the time when the water passes over the gills absorb the oxygen which is mixed in water, and the carbon dioxide which is collected by the gills, it then mixes with the water and it passes out. So in this way the fishes are adapted to live in water. Our third topic is swimming. We know, including most of the animals, many birds, or if you talk about the fishes, they are able to swim. If you talk about a fish, its natural home is water itself. That means its home is water. That means it is always found in water. And the body of the fish that we see is they have a streamlined body. With the help of its streamlined body, a fish is able to swim underwater very comfortably. The covering of slippery scales, it helps them to have a smooth movement through the water. The movement of its tails and the fins, all these togetherly helps the fish to move underwater by having a resistance with the water. They are able to change the direction very well, and they have a steady movement at the time of swimming. If we talk about some other animals which are able to swim underwater, for example ducks and frogs. These ducks, you might have seen, they have got webbed feet. These webbed feet present in the body of the ducks, it helps the duck to move forward underwater or to swim in water. If they don't have these webbed feet, if they don't have joints on the feet that they have, then what will happen? The water will not get moved and they will find easy to swim underwater. It pushes the water. They are able to push the water with the help of their webbed feet and they swim very comfortably. Our next topic is regarding the plants that grows in desert regions. You might have heard about cactus plant. These cactus plant are well adapted to grow in desert regions. What is the reason? The reason is that these cactus plants, they are adapted to grow in such regions because such plants, they have got a special modification in the form of leaf spines. We know cactus plants do not have leaves, so the cactus plants, the leaves are modified into spines. So because of the presence of spines, the cactus plant, they are able to reduce the loss of water, and the water that the cactus plant have are stored in their spongy stems. Another special adaptation that the cactus has is that this cactus plant, they have got very long roots. These long roots that the cactus plant have helps the plant to go deep under the soil to absorb water and minerals. So these are the adaptations of the plants that grows in desert regions. Our next topic is regarding the camels. Students, you know, a camel is known as the sheep of the desert. Why it is called as the sheep of the desert? Because these camels are the only means of transportation used in desert regions. How this camel is adapted to live in desert regions. What special adaptations it has? A camel, it has got very long eyelashes. With the help of the long eyelashes, the camels are able to protect their eyes. Not only this, the camels too have very long legs, which helps or protects them to keep their body high above the sand, and also helps them to walk on the hot sands throughout the day. It can also drink a lot of water at a go, and excretes a very concentrated amount of urine. That means they used to throw out very little amount of urine from their body in order to prevent water. And we know that in desert regions there is very shortage of food. So how does the camel manages food for himself? The camel, it has the special adaptation with the help of which it is able to overcome the harsh conditions or scarcity of the food that it gets in the desert regions. It is able to store food in its hump in the form of fats, and at times when there is shortage of food, it uses it from its body. Now, next topic is regarding the cool climate. We know many animals are found in regions where the climate is very cool, especially polar bears, penguins, seals, whales, walruses, and many more. How these animals are able to adapt themselves in such a cool climate? In regions like Arctic Tern or Arctic region, there we know the place is filled with ice only. So how is it possible for such animals to live very comfortably? It's only because these animals too have some special adaptations. If you talk about such animals like polar bears, they have got thick furs on their body which protects them from the cool climate, and they also have a thick layer of fats under their skin. This thick layer of fats under the skin not only helps them to overcome the shortage of food, but also protects them from the cool climate by increasing their body temperature. Next topic is regarding migration. Students, you know, migration of animals often takes place from place to place at times when there is unfavorable conditions. When the animals faces unfavorable conditions as shortage of food or changes of seasons or changes of climate, at that very time most of the animals they migrate or they travel from one place to other place in search of food or to get a favorable state. For example, we know birds often they are seen flying hundreds of miles to India and other warm countries in winter to get their food and also to get a favorable climate. Most of the insects, fishes and mammals also migrate to avoid the harsh climatic conditions. Our next topic is regarding the birds. What special adaptations the birds have that they are able to live their life to the best suited that they expect. Birds, we know they have got strong flight muscles in their wings. They don't have limbs. Instead of limbs, they have got wings, and their wings have got strong flight muscles which is covered with feathers so that it can pass through when a bird flaps them against the air. At the time of flying, the bird is able to use the strong flight muscles to move their wings at a space. Not only this, they also have very light body weight, and the light body that they have is only because of the hollow bones that they have. The bones of the birds are hollow, and it is filled with lots of air spaces. They too have very sharp eyesight, which helps them to see its food from air, and the birds also has extra little lungs, and these extra little lungs are also known as air sacs, which helps them to get extra energy it needs at the time of flying. Our next topic is regarding herbivores and carnivores. Herbivores are those organisms that depend on plants directly for their food. You know, many animals like cows, goats, deers, all these animals, they depend on plants directly for their food. So, what type of special adaptations these herbivores have? Herbivores, they are very fond of eating leaves, shoots and grasses, and they do not need sharp-edged canines to tear their fleshes. As they don't eat fleshes, they don't have any sharp-edged canines teeth. So most of the herbivores do not have canines, or they have blunt canines. They have sharp incisors for cutting vegetables, matter, and large flattish premolars and molars for chewing food. That means the teeth of the herbivorous organisms are specially used for cutting vegetables, as incisors they are used for cutting vegetables, but the flattish premolars and molars are used for chewing the food. They also have some special bacteria in a special stomach or a part of their intestine, and these bacteria help them digest plant matter. That means the digestive system of the herbivorous organisms consists of a special stomach. This special stomach of herbivorous organisms consists of bacteria in their intestine, which helps them to digest the plant matter very easily. Herbivores, they have to protect themselves from the carnivores that hunt them. So most of the herbivores, we find the eyes are on the sides of their head, which helps them to look around very nicely, and at times when they are found in herds, a group to protect themselves better. They are mostly found in herds, and at the time when they are in herds, when one gets the indication from the other, they are able to escape very easily. Some even have guards to warn the rest of the group of dangers. Now, regarding the carnivores, if we discuss, these carnivores are those organisms that depend on flesh of other animals. They used to kill the other animals and eat the flesh of those other animals, like lion, tiger, leopard and all. These carnivores, they have got sharp incisors for biting and tearing the flesh. As they always need to eat the flesh, they have got sharp incisors, and these incisors helps in biting and tearing the flesh. They haul and kill the prey with large curved pointed canines and crush the bones with massive premolars and molars. The two have got sharp pointed canines which helps them to haul and kill the prey and crush the bones with the help of premolars and molars. These animals usually have got sharp sense of smell. They are able to get the smell of their prey from a far distance. That means their sense of smell is very strong and hearing to help them hunt. Their eyes are set in front of their head to help them focus better. You might have seen a lion or tiger. Their eyes is right at their front, which helps them to judge the distance at the time when they are to hunt their prey. Our next topic is regarding the beaks and mouth. The beaks and the mouth an organism or an animal has depends on the type of food the animal eats. For example, birds. Most of the birds, they have got beaks. Why? Because they are suited to such type of foods which they can eat it with the help of their beaks. They mostly eat different types of insects and all, which they can easily catch it with the help of their beaks. Sometimes some of the fishes, they even catch the fishes and they eat it. And the name of the bird is kingfisher. Mosquitoes, flies, butterflies and some other insects, their type of mouth is somewhat like a tube, and the type of mouth that the mosquitoes, butterflies and some other insects have is known as proboscis. This proboscis is a tube-like mouth which helps the organism to draw the juice from the plant, and they are able to get their food. Our last topic is regarding protection. As we have learned that different animals have got different adaptations which helps them to be best suited to its way of life. So sometimes we find that some organisms get hunt or they are killed by other organisms. So each and every organism must have some special adaptations to protect themselves. So let us learn about how the animals able to defend themselves from their enemies. We know in case of cactus plant there is a spines. There are spines. Likewise, most of the plants have got thorns, prickles or spines, which does not allow any animals to come near them because of the presence of thorns, prickles or spines. If you talk about some other plants have oleanders, like oleanders, banyan, fig and papaya, they used to produce a kind of juice, and the juice that is produced by such plants is a plant waste which causes irritation to the skin, and so due to the irritation other animals do not go near such plants to eat. Likewise, many plants have got special adaptations to protect themselves from being killed or hunted. Porcupines have quills, for example, while squids squirt an inky liquid. Deers can run very fast, while rats and rabbits hide in burrows. Toads have poison glands on their skin, while many insects have poisonous stings. So these are some of the adaptations that they have which helps them to protect themselves from their enemies. And if you talk about some of the insects, they have a very special adaptation, what is called as camouflage. This camouflage is a condition that is found in most of the insects and some other organisms, which helps them to blend with the surrounding in which they live or they move. For example, the grasshopper, its body is always green in color, so it can defend itself at the time when it when it moves on the leaves, or you can say the grasses or tree trunks. It blends with the leaves, grasses or tree trunks where they move about. Some actually look like leaves or twigs. So my dear students, hope you have understood. With this, I end up today's class. Thank you.